So I want to tell you two stories. They were good people. That's the thing, is they were really good people, sincere people, honest people. And they ran into some anti-Mormon material, and they didn't have answers for it, and they didn't know where to get answers for it. And the sister told me that, if you just point out one thing that's wrong with the CES letter, then I'll change my mind. The son stood up with tears in his eyes and talked about how he really wanted to go on a mission, and mission was the place that was his goal to go on. And he said, but now he couldn't, because he knew the whole thing was a lie based on this anti-Mormon material he read. Now, there was another family member there who texted her stake president later. I was over at the stake president's house afterwards, and said she'd heard enough and that she was going to come back. But the other family members didn't stay. But the anti-Mormon material was false. It was wrong. It wasn't even close to being accurate. Let me tell you a second story. We had a sister come sit with us in my house not that long ago. And she has some difficulties in her life. And she has a son who struggles with the rules of the church. Just a wonderful sister. I love her very much, because she comes to church in spite of her struggles and in spite of her difficulties with testimonies. But then somebody brought up some anti-Mormon material to her, brought up some questions about the church, about how can you believe in this church when it teaches these things? And with a little discussion, she said, oh, I didn't know that aspect of it, or I didn't know that thing about it. Her comment to us was, I know I'm in a vulnerable spot. And she said that going into the conversation. I'm in a vulnerable spot. And in that vulnerable spot, I stumbled upon this material. Had we not had the answers for her right then, I don't think she'd be a member of the church today. I gotta be honest, a lot of people don't need fair. I wish I could say everybody needs fair. They don't. A lot of people do great reading their scriptures, going to church, saying their prayers, fasting, and their testimony stays strong. But what about the one? What about the one? What about that person who does struggle with her testimony? What do you do with the person how do you reach out to the person who needs to find those answers? Where are they going to get them? Are they going to Google on the internet and hope to find a good answer? Because I can tell you, a lot of the answers they find there are not going to be good, and not going to be true, and are not going to be accurate. So I'm hoping with FAIR that we can become well-known, that we can provide the answers, that people know where to find those answers, so that one who is struggling can find their answers. And if they don't think to look, then people around them know enough about FAIR that they can look at FAIR and find the answers for that person, so they could reach out to that one and bring them back into the fold.